1-2. Well, Gary, we're of course very happy to see you, but how's the boss doing? How's he feeling?
Yeah, he's on the road to recovery. I think he's had a bout of food poisoning. He was at the training ground today, just watching from afar. So hopefully, sort of by the time the game comes around, he'll be 100% again. Hopefully.
I guess the blessing in disguise is that because it is suspected food poisoning, it's not something that's necessarily going to affect the players or the squad as a whole, really.
No, exactly that. The last thing we want now is something to spread like wildfire, through the dressing room. So thankfully, it is only that, and he's on his way to recovery. So
the fourth qualifying round of the FA Cup, a break from the National League campaign. Do you welcome that break? Is it because it can be relentless, the league campaign?
It's something to be excited about. Still one of the greatest competitions in the world, as I say. But I just think with our mentality at the moment, we just want to go into every competition and win games. It's as simple as that. So it doesn't really affect the mind of the player much. I think we're there to do the same job week in, week out, and that's win games of football. So hopefully, it should be good.
How do you and the rest of the coaching staff approach it? Is it a chance to rotate the squad and get some fringe players firing, or do you start strong and then look to make changes?
I think we'll start strong. I think that we go there to mean business. We can't underestimate the opposition. We know it's a potential banana skin for us on a 3G surface as well. So we go there to go about our business like we usually do. We'll probably start strong. There may be a couple of sort of different personnel included, we want to go strong.
Is Malachi Fagan-Walcott available to play, or is he already committed with Cardiff having played, not wanting him cup-tied necessarily?
Unfortunately, he felt his hamstring last game, so if he was fit, then he would have played. But I think it looks like he might be out for a week or two. We're hoping that he'll be ready for sort of Ebbsfleet or Barnet. Okay. Yes, that's the latest on him.
And what about the rest of the squad? How does everyone else come through the last weekend?
Unfortunately, we had what they call like a bounce game against Hull under-23s yesterday, just to get our squad players up to minutes. And Lenny pulled out. Unfortunately, he felt his hamstring. He goes for a scan, I think, either today or tomorrow. So we await news on that, which is unfortunate, really.
Yeah, because he has been so good off the substitutes bench as well. He's 5 goals already this season, and he's made such a big impact. He's
been fantastic. He's just a role model, but every time he comes on the pitch, something can happen, and to be honest with you, it's gutting news, really.
Yeah, and it being a 4G pitch, does that play into your thinking at all when it comes to the squad? Someone like Callum Harriott, and we know what it's like playing on a 4G pitch, it can have a bigger impact on players that are, carrying knocks or niggles or that are susceptible to injury. Does that play into your thinking at all?
100%. I think you've got to prepare correctly. So we speak to our S&C coaches, physios, and get the best advice possible. So that has to come into play when you're thinking about selecting the team.
Is it also a chance to try something different tactically? 2 up front, for example. I know we've spoken about Dipo Akinyemi, getting the best out of him. Is it out on the wing? Is it through the middle as well, possibly alongside Ollie Pearce?
Yeah, I think there's tweaks you can look at 100%. And I think that, something hopefully may come to fruition during the game. But there, obviously the goal scoring record for it at the moment, I think everyone's mentioning it, and it's something that us coaching staff, we have to try and solve, and also the players themselves. I think they had 35 touches in the opposition's half against in the penalty box, against Woking, which is a hell of a lot of touches. And unfortunately, we didn't capitalise on it. So that is obviously one thing we do have to look at as coaching staff. But I'm sure as well, it's just sometimes you just need one to go in on their backside or something like that. So a bit of rub of the green as well, but I'm sure it'll come.
Yeah, I was going to say maybe he just needs that one to get him going. And the FA Cup against a lower league opposition, potentially a good chance to build a bit of confidence for him as well.
Yeah, I think that's definitely our mindset going into it. The Dipos and Ollie Pearces, if they can hit 1s or 2s against their opposition at the weekend, then hopefully we know that's what strikers need, and that it could fire them.
Yeah, Paddy McLaughlin as well hasn't been involved. He's been around the fringes of the squad as well. Does he come into your thinking, or does bringing in a player like him that hasn't necessarily had a significant amount of minutes. Does that, if it goes wrong, does that open you up to criticism? Or
I think you're always open to criticism, whatever team you select, whatever tactics you do as a manager or as management. But with Paddy, he come through 90 minutes against Hull midweek, which is brilliant, and he's as tough as they come. So choosing Paddy, regards his fitness, wouldn't be a question.
Is half the battle with playing a lower league opposition the mentality as well, going into it with the right right mindset, and certainly the mindset of this squad has never been questioned. You've been up to task since kind of the first kick of the season, really. But is that a big part of it, going in and not underestimating the opposition? Hugely.
You see these shock results happen time and time again, but I think something that we pride ourselves on here now at this football club is every training session you train like it's your last, and Adam, he demands the highest standards. So if you come and watch us train day in, day out, you would know if you're not up to standards, you quickly get forgotten about. So we have to come up to the table again and mean business.
And I guess it's about having respect for the opposition as well. You already said that it's unlikely you're going to see wholesale changes. You'll put out potentially a strong team as well. It's about paying that side the respect as well.
Yeah, and also it's a huge game. You win this one game and you don't know what it's going to lead on to. And we'd hate to think that we've gone in there half tilt and then obviously let them have a shock win. So we need to go there, as we always do, well prepared and be thorough with it.
Yeah. Everyone always talks about the FA Cup as a competition, the magic of the cup, that sort of thing. What does the competition mean to you as a coach?
Yeah, as a player, I had some massive games. I remember being involved with Havant and Waterlooville and went on the Liverpool run, played Brentford the following year. It's huge, especially for a non-league player as well, but when you're part-time. So it can open doors for players, for coaches as well. I think you can showcase what you're all about, and hopefully we can put on a good show.
You talked about some of those fantastic runs that you went on as a player as well. What was the furthest you ever got in the competition?
We played Liverpool away at Havant. Unfortunately, I was cup tied because I only just signed that year. But then I think we reached it was third or fourth round the following year against Brentford. So they're two fantastic experiences.
And I guess that's a stage where it becomes more real. The big boys start entering the competition. That's what you'd love to bring a big boy club to this kind of stadium, wouldn't you? Yeah,
I just think it's something that would ignite the city again. We've seen the attendances steadily rise, and hopefully everyone's happy with what we're doing at the moment. And it'd be brilliant again. It'd be another feather in our cap that if we could get a massive team here at York and get the city behind us, it's huge.
What do you know about Biggleswade as a side? Have you sent scouts to watch them on Monday, for example?
Yeah, we've had scouts watch them. We know that obviously they lost their last league game, but I think they won 3 on the bounce prior to that. Obviously the 3G surface, we've looked at their formation, set plays. So we have done our own work, and it would be stupid not to. So yeah, we know what they're about.
Yeah. And just finally from me, any update on any signings? Adam said that there may be some in the offing that you'd be looking to see if you could bring any attacking options in?
It's been quite a pivotal day today where we've targeted a couple of players, especially with now knowing that Lenny could be out for a sustained period of time. So there is hopefully something there that will come to fruition probably the following week, I think, after this weekend.
And is that short term, long term, season long?
I think it depends what player it'll be. Obviously, there's one in mind that could be probably more short term. Probably like a month just to get us through maybe, and then see obviously open to extension after that, and then maybe there's some other sort of senior more like players that hopefully may come in maybe longer term if needed. So but we can't rush, we have to get these things right, and we have to bring the right character as well into the building. So it's something that needs to be right for both the player and the club.
And you mentioned obviously it'll be cover for Linnell John Lewis as well. Is it just one striker or is it a couple of options? Or
there's a few options on the table, and it's just up to us now as a management staff. Obviously Tony McMahon now is Director of Football, that we identify the correct one for how our team plays. So yeah, we've got to get the right strengths for our team.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Hi Gary. We speak to Adam every single week and we know that he's relatively content with how the season's gone so far. What are your thoughts on how York's campaign has gone?
I think it's been fantastic, to be brutally honest. Obviously, when we first come in here, it was relegation battle, and I just think everything has gone up. The standard of the players, the way the team's playing. Obviously, I know that you will always get little murmurs about goals being scored for and that, but I think the biggest thing for me is that the opposition treat us with a lot more respect now. They sit in a deep block. It is harder to prize teams out on top of us now, especially at home. But for me, that's all positives, and it'll only make us stronger as a coaching staff that we find the solutions to these problems as well. So I'm really content with what we've done, but knowing Adam, knowing us as coaching staff, we want to kick on. We want to break down barriers. We want to keep, striving, and so that's a massive part of us, who we are as human beings, and I think that reflects in the team.
It's now been 6 months or so since you made the move. Did you have any doubt at the time when Adam came and he said, I'm moving up to York from Worthing? Did you ever have any doubt about joining him on that journey?
No, I've known Adam for a long time. We were sort of in Brighton youth teams together. We're friends, off the pitch. I'll always give him my honest opinion, which I think he respects. And I think that we're a good fold together, especially with Cam Morrison as well, what he does at the club. And we're grafters. If I'm being brutally honest with you, we're grafters. I didn't have the most, great career. And Adam obviously he cut short due to injury, and I think that obviously makes us want to strive more as coaching staff as well to, produce good football and winning teams. And I think that's where we're aligned. Yeah. How
do you think your coaching techniques sort of mesh with Adam and Cam's then?
I'm a lot to do with the defence, out of possession. Obviously, we didn't have the best goals record against at Worthing, which was something I always used to hurt me a little bit, because you're sort of dealing with the back four. But I think you get different types of characters, different athletes in this league, and thankfully, touch wood, we've kept a lot of clean sheets, and it's been brilliant working with our defenders at the club currently. So yes, I'm more defensive, if you like, Adam's, for me, he's tactically on point. I learn off him every day. Best coach I've ever worked with. But I know him. I know we just want to keep striving and keep getting better and better.
And of course, as a defender yourself during your playing career, to have 8 clean sheets in 13 games must be a massive positive for you.
Yeah, something I take great pride in. Obviously as well, Joe Stead, I think we've got 2 fantastic goalkeepers at the club as well at the moment. He drives brilliant standards in training as well. I love it. It's what I used to play for was clean sheets. Obviously my brother, defender, we're just, it's in our blood, if to keep clean sheets and defend. And with these guys like your Callum Howes, Malachi and that, it's great because they're brilliant on the ball, but also they'll put their body on the line as well, which for me is fantastic to see.
And you mentioned your brother there, Tommy Elphick. I believe he's now coaching in the Premier League with Bournemouth. Do you ever have the opportunity just to give him a call and just ask for any advice or anything like that?
Yeah, we speak most days. Sort of during my 8 weeks off in the summer, always picking his brain. Different techniques, obviously. He's had a great career, and he picks up things from Iriola. Obviously, Adam picks up things from Jack as well from Brighton. And these, we'd be stupid not to sort of look into it and try and benefit ourselves. And it has. It's definitely benefited us in ways this year, which we've seen. And it's been brilliant.
Moving on to Biggleswade, have you had to have a word with the players, just making sure there's no complacency going into this match?
It's 100%. It's that, for me, it's all about what's going on between your ears and making sure your mind's focused and ready to get the job done. And as I say, it's one game from potentially a life-changing experience. That's the way you've got to view it. So there can't be no doubt. We've got to go through everything thoroughly and make sure we're well prepared.
And that Biggleswade, they'll be up for it. They'll see it as something of a cup final for them.
Oh yeah, they'll put it on us. They'll see us. Maybe big time Charlies, whatever. Big old York and coming down here. But that's what we've got to come up against and overcome, and hopefully we can do that.
Adam mentioned that Ashley Nathaniel George might be back in training by the end of last week. Is he?
Yeah, I think they're saying that it could be a week or 2. He's out running again. I think today he was doing like his high speed running, so hopefully within a week or 2, he'll be included.
And Adam Crooks, has he reached enough fitness to?
Adam Crooks, I think he's going to be a similar time frame, so we'll probably be looking for him some sort of involvement a week Monday, I would think. Yeah.
Brilliant. That's all from me. Thank you.
Brilliant. Thank you.
Hi Gary.
How's it going? All right.
We don't often get to speak to you, so from a personal perspective, how rare is it in the league to get the sort of opportunity when York came up and a project at its very beginning?
Yeah, it's life changing. I was a plumber for 19 years, I think it was. Got released from Brighton, went to semi-professional football and went straight into plumbing. So when this chance come up, it was crazy. I always sort of thought that me and Adam sort of locally, we sort of done well with our teams that we managed respectively, but to get this chance was, you had to pinch yourself, and but I think in a way, once again, it makes you want to succeed even more, because it sounds horrible, I never want to go back to that life again. I love my life now. I bounce out of bed every morning, can't wait to get on the training ground with these guys. And I think that's part of my character, and it's helped me to come to this journey. So yeah, it's been fantastic.
You're now fixing leaky defences.
Trying to, try and make them watertight and all that. So and up to now it's been good, but obviously I know there's a hell of a lot more work to do, and we can't just stop the clock now and be happy with what we've done. Let's have a look at the end of the season and make sure we succeed. That's got to be the mentality. You
seem close as a management team. What's the dynamic like? I mean, is it a democracy? Do you get a full say in team matters?
We're all together. It's the best experience. Like, to be honest with you, I'd never met Joe Stead. I'd never met Tony McMahon, and we've come together like no other. It's Tony McMahon now is a real good mate. Joe Stead's a real good mate. We could ring each other up as management staff any day of the week, any time of the day. We could talk, and that's been the most fantastic thing about it all. They're northern, we're southern, and you're thinking, crikey, he's looking at me thinking I'm a, cockney coming up here and things like that. But it's been absolutely brilliant, and as I say, both on and off the pitch, it just couldn't have been any better for us at the moment. Yeah.
And it means you can be honest with each other and not feel as though you can hold anything back.
No, exactly that. Like Adam, I think Adam requires honesty. If he doesn't feel something's not right, he will confront it. He will face you up, and he will tell you so. And I think that's a fantastic thing to have as a human being, that you can be honest and front anything up. And I think we do have that as a coaching staff.
And we talk about the romance of the cup, but let's flip it a bit. Without being complacent, how important is it to be clinical against Biggleswade? But basically, because that's their cup final. But for you, it's getting to the third round. Yeah,
we have to be clinical. We have to, execute it correctly, and. Even with the goals for, that's what I'm looking to ramp up. Hopefully this week we need to hit the back of the net now. It's a focus for us in training, how our approach plays in the final third, how we're moving the opposition. We have to be clinical with and without the ball in both boxes.
And it doesn't help that you've lost one of your key strikers, maybe for a couple of weeks, maybe longer.
Yeah, no, but as I say, I'm absolutely gutted. And some people say, well, why are you doing a bounce game? But it's so when these players are involved, they're full tilt. So it's a real hard one, and obviously, like we speak to Len, Paddy, especially the older senior guys, and say, do you want to be involved in that? And they like being included. They want to get their minutes up, so when Lenny does come off the bench, or if Paddy's included and come in and start in games, then they know they're 100%. And obviously there's no regrets, because ideally we just try and prepare the players correctly.
And there's always somebody to come in, isn't there? You've got a decent squad. Yeah,
there's a decent squad, and also, in a weird way, it might help solve the problem, because obviously we've been heavily reliant on Lenny, and Lenny at his age ain't always going to be there. He's getting on now, Len. So it might say we might tweak things tactically, personnel-wise, where you see things happen and you think, crikey, there's an answer there. So it's an opportunity definitely for others, and other tactics as well.
Everybody's on the hunt for a striker. How tough is it out there to get one?
It's tough. It's really tough, because obviously we have a certain way of playing as well. So we need probably a 9 that's really tidy in the build-up, because of the amount of ball we have. So to get a tidy player, but also a poacher that's going to bring others into play as well, it's tough. And a lot of these players are in the Football League. And then you're thinking, do you bring players from the Football League to here? And then you're thinking, payday, are they here for the right reasons? So as I say, character's huge. Character is a real big thing, and obviously what they're offering. So we've got to be cute in the transfer market and get the right players in, but I'm sure we'll do that. And as I say, we can't rush these things, but it needs to be the right one to do, obviously for cup competitions and also for the league as well.
Talking of characters, Joe Felix, he exemplifies everything that you're about, really.
Yeah.
Real workhorse. He's a fan's favourite. He's the supporters' player of the month. What's he like off the pitch?
He's my favourite. Yeah, he's the most humble, hard-working kid I think I've ever met in football. I I'll always say morning Joe, and he'll go truly blessed, you know, and that's his main saying, truly blessed every day. And actually, like, for me as a coach coming in and having this opportunity, I find that's the same with him. I think he bounces out of bed every morning, cannot wait, wants to be a full-time footballer, and boys, he's grabbing it with both hands. So well done to him, and it's what he thoroughly deserves.
Good luck.
Yeah, brilliant, thank you.
Hi, Gary. Adam showed a level of disappointment and frustration after last Saturday's draw and the week before. Still third in the table though, but you've obviously set yourself and the team some high targets this season. Adam's
a perfectionist. It's what makes him who he is, and obviously we just know, like Adam always says openly, that the worst type of football is being, you know, lovely in possession, having all these stats, but not putting the ball in the net. He always openly says that to us as coaching staff and as players. So, yeah, at the moment we just need to put the icing on top of the cake, and you know, I can understand. Like, to be honest with you, I watched the Woking game back, and as I say, 35 touches in the opposition's box. And for large periods of the game, you've dominated spells of possession and the actual game as it's gone. And yeah, it's bitterly disappointing as a coaching staff that you're not seeing a win.
FA Cup on Saturday, obviously important, helps finances. How much of a distraction are these cup matches when clearly the league is your priority?
I don't find it a distraction. I just think if your mindset's about winning games and going to every competition like you mean business, for me it's just another game to be won. So I don't find it a distraction. I just find it as another game where we go in full tilt, win games of football, score goals hopefully, and get back onto good habits. So that's how I view it. Yeah.
Are you tempted to change the team in any way to give fringe players a chance to start and others a rest?
Yes and no. I think obviously there's problems that we need to address regards to goal scoring, which I'm sure we'll solve. And as I say, we don't want to underestimate the opposition. We want to go there, and as I say, we're one game away from life-changing experience. So we need to go there and get the job done. Obviously there will be different personnel coming in because of some of the injuries, which would have probably affected the team selection for Saturday. And we actually look like we've actually, I think, got a fairly small squad at the moment now with these injuries that have occurred, you know. So we've got to be careful, and we've got to back clever, but also at the same time we've got to go there and win the games. Yeah.
Turning to Biggleswade, although further down the pyramid, they'll see it as their day to cause an upset. Can you plan for that?
I think, as we've already touched on, it's mindset. I think that's the only way you can plan it, is by sort of making sure that the players know their roles, responsibilities, which we're always thorough in, making sure they're highly motivated for this game. And I think that's the message to drum to them, is that, you know, you're one game away from having a Bradford or something like that here to ignite the city again, which all of a sudden might just change your season and, you know, to go again. Not saying it's been a bad season, as I say, we're third, but it just might be that little kick-start where you go, crikey, we're keeping clean sheets, but now we're scoring goals. And that's the way I'm viewing this game, is why can't it be like another little spark again? So yeah, fingers crossed the players will be all right for it.
Okay, thanks.
Avi, cheers.
Hello Gary, how are you?
Yeah, very well, thanks. Yourself?
Yeah, good, thank you, good. I've got 3 questions. So my first one is, how important is getting to the next round, not just for the team, but the financial side of the club?
Yeah, it's huge. Obviously, the Uglers, the supporters trust, and the guys involved in the club with sponsorships. I mean, they pump a huge amount of money in. But also we want York to be sustainable as well, and it'd be brilliant that us as management staff can bring in a cup competition run whereby the prize money's that good that it can help us out with maybe transfer funds or other things that need investment, regards training grounds, infrastructure and things like that. So I think it'd be brilliant to give back a little bit to what's been provided to us as management since we've been here. So yeah, I think it's really important.
Thank you. And would you say this game is an opportunity to give minutes to players who may have not featured much this season?
Yeah, as I say, it's a thin line, because obviously we want to win the game. We want to go there full tilt. But obviously as well, with some of the injuries that have occurred, like Malachi and things like that, it does sort of shuffle the pack slightly. So probably some players will come in that haven't had as many minutes previously. But us, knowing Adam as I do, I still think we want to go pretty strong and try and win this game. Yeah.
Brilliant, thank you. And finally, 8 games unbeaten in the league. How important is it to keep winning regardless of competition?
vitally important. I think that for me is our top motivation, to keep these runs going, clean sheets, to keep wins going, unbeaten runs. That's your form book, if you like, and they're brilliant to look back on and think they're great habits to have, and we need to continue with these habits in the forthcoming matches.
That's all. Thank you very much.
Brilliant. Cheers. Thank you. Appreciate it. Cheers.